Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is James Branton, vocalist, frontman, and guitarist for Ashes To Omens, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. James Branton, vocalist and guitarist of Ashes To Omens. They hail from Athens, Georgia. They're a hard rock band. Ashes To Omens has released their official music video for their single, The Conflict Within, directed and produced by Halo Union Productions. The Conflict Within is off their upcoming album due to release in 2019, but I think this has already came out March the 5th. Is that correct, James?
It is, man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem, man. Let's jump right into this. How's it been working with Tag Publicity so far with you guys?
Man, we are incredibly happy with everything that Tag has presented to us. We were completely caught off guard because we didn't know what to expect, and we are overjoyed with the results that we've gotten with those guys. We'll definitely be using them again.
Ashes To Omens' self-titled debut album hit the charts in June of 2018, and you held the number one position for rock on Reverb Nation in Athens, Georgia, where you've held it consistently for 13 months, man. How does it make you guys feel? I mean, I know it's Reverb Nation, but still, that's quite pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we are in a, I don't know if you know much about, the Athens, Georgia music scene, but it's really all over the spectrum. There's, a lot of fantastic metal bands here. There's a lot of southern rock, classic rock, with home of B-52s, and, a lot of, chart-topping bands have come from Athens, Michael Stipe, for example. But with Athens, it's such a huge mix of music that the way it kind of worked with Reverb Nation was you have to specify what specific genre that you're in. And of course we're, rock, hard rock. And there's a lot to offer in Athens as far as hard rock is concerned. And, we're super, blessed and thankful that we were able to, to continue holding that spot for as long as we have. But it's 100% all due to our fans. We've got a dedicated, batch of fans down here that has followed us all over the Southeast, and it's all thanks to them.
Well, let's not forget the mighty Seven Dust is from Georgia also.
Oh, yeah. Seven Dust, Lowwater, many of those guys.
Ashes To Omens has released the official music video for the music single, The Conflict Within. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this album, which one would be the first single and video? And what did you want that first song to say for you, for the ones who have not heard of your music as of yet?
No, it wasn't hard to pick that one. That song we started writing almost a year ago. I think we kind of knew then when we started working on this new album that was the one that we were going to lead with. I had just gotten beyond a fight with thyroid cancer.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first song that I had written post that. So it started, I want to say our first album, was, I like to think that, as a musician, I write about things that are important to me, but, things that also everyone else can relate to. So that whole first album was about things that I was going through personally, and, the lyrics directly reflected that. When we started working on this new album, like I said, that was the first one that I had written. Our guitarist had actually been working on the music for that song for 6 months prior before we'd even finished the first album. So when we decided for that to be the single and the video that we were going to go with, I think we all had a personal stake in it. And I think that, what came out was something that, not only we were proud of, but something that we could all speak to personally. So I think, of the upcoming, 12 tracks on this album, that's the one we felt was best to lead us into this album.
Well, I'm glad that you fought this, man, and everything's okay now, correct?
Yeah. I went for a follow-up, and everything, everything's still good, clean bill of health. So, knock on wood, I continue to be blessed.
Going through that, James, did that give you, and I hate to say that gave, say this, but did that give you more drive to push forward with this band?
I think so. I think that it was a motivational tool, albeit, a negative tool. It gave me a lot of drive and determination to push like I'd never pushed before, and especially for this new album, I think when the band first got together, about a year and a half ago, it was this is a do or die situation. We're going to do this regardless. I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. And if it's negative, then so be it. But if it's positive and I get through it, then we're going to be super aggressive about, pursuing it and being successful doing it. And from our perspectives, we have been, and we're going to continue to push the best we can, the best way we know how. And, use that, as a good starting point and a catalyst to get us to the next level.
So the Conflict Within music video, that was directed and produced by Halo Union Productions. How was working with that group on this?
Well, I've been knowing Halo Union for many years. They actually had produced our very first video that we released in August of 2017. So going back to them, it was kind of a no-brainer for us. Ben and Nathan Walters are an incredibly talented couple of guys, and they had a whole team of people working with us to make this thing happen in a short period of time. And it was great, man. I love shooting videos, and we look forward to shooting more with them.
Any song standing out more to you than any right now, if possible? I mean, I know this is like picking your favorite child or collectible, but I know it must change every time you listen to it. But do you have any that stick out for you?
Absolutely. This new album that we're working on, the first album only being 8 songs, just being an EP, we kind of felt like we were limited. With this new album, we're going for 12 tracks plus, 2 additional special acoustic releases that we're going to tag onto it. So it's going to be a full-length album. So with this album, we've actually started playing a couple of the songs live at our shows, and every single one of them have gotten a positive response. But for me personally, like we wrote this song a couple of months ago to go on this album called Let the Devil Loose. It's a real high energy song that, allows people just to kind of open up and just literally, just let themselves go and just enjoy the moments that they're in. That song, for me, sticks out more than any of our other songs, when we play them live, because of the flow of the music, the lyrics, what it represents, and, what it means internally. That's the song that I feel I'm most excited to play. But there's a few other ones that we've been kind of, keeping to ourselves that's going to be released with the album that we think is going to make a pretty substantial impact as well.
What do you hope everyone takes away from this current new single, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of Ashes to Omens music in general, man? What do you hope they get from any of this?
Well, personally, we want to write music that people can relate to. I find more times than not, when I'm listening to, not any specific genre of music on the radio or on, online or somewhere, but I find it hard to be able to internalize a lot of the music that's being played, or, internalize something that I can actually relate to. So with our music in general, we like to write stuff that not only affects us personally and professionally, but we want everyone else to be personally and professionally affected by the music that we write. And we feel like if we haven't done that, then we haven't done our job. We want people to come to our shows and have an emotional experience and be able to take the song and be like, my God, I really connected with what they were saying and what they were doing. And that's what we want from each of our songs. So with the Conflict Within, that song is, in and of itself, it's about, realizing that in order to get to be a better person, in order to get to the next level of who you're really meant to be, there's a conflict within yourself, and you're going to have to overcome that. And it's overcoming adversity and negativity, and sometimes even accepting your own faults and your own negativities and owning that. Some people Sometimes people can do that, and sometimes people can't do that. And ultimately, that's how we grow as people. So that's how we compartmentalize everything with our music, and we just hope that it reaches people.
Who did the artwork on this album? Because it looks pretty cool to me.
We actually found this company called Dark Days Design out of Venezuela. I'd been talking to this guy for a few years. He was going to do, artwork on our first album, and we could not get it together the way we needed to in time for print. And so when we started writing the new album, I immediately went to him and I said, hey, we got a single we're going to release and got a few ideas I want to throw your way and, see what you can put together for us. And that's what he come up with.
I always like to give the artists a little shout out because I don't think that they get enough respect during interviews and on these covers and things.
100%.
They put a lot of time into this and I hope people understand is like when bands are creating their cover art with the artist, the artist has to see and envision exactly what he's talking about. That's very hard. Very hard.
Yeah. Well, we hope to work. There's a gentleman. There's this small town here near us, and there's this guy. He runs a tattoo shop named Jason Tassi, and he's a phenomenal tattoo artist. And we're currently working with him to put together a brand new album design for this album release. We haven't really been able to come up with a good title for the album yet. We're still working on that, but over the next 6 to 8 months, as we finish tracking and putting everything together, we have no doubt that he's going to put together something quality for us.
How was working with producer Matt Washburn on this, man?
Oh man, he's outstanding. He's worked with a lot of amazing bands. He's worked with Artemis Pyle from Leonard Skinner. He's worked with Mastodon on several of their albums. He's worked with Legion X, who's another huge regional band down here. He is incredible. He really pushes us to not just put something down, but put something down that we're going to be proud of. Because, more times than not, a lot of times you go into a studio and the studio guy's just there to, all right, how much time do you need? And okay, well, I'm going to block this chunk of hours out for you, and I want my money, and I'm going to record what you want me to record. And that's not what Matt does. If you lay down a shitty take, Matt's going to say, hey man, that sounded like trash. We need to do this again. And he's going to constantly push you to be the very best you can be. He wants you to sound good because at the end of the day, hey man, you're doing this in his studio, and he wants his name to say, hey, I worked with this band. So he wants everything to sound as good as it possibly can. So I will never sing enough praise for Matt Washburn. He's amazing.
Did he bring out something in you guys that you didn't know that you had, or was just timid to bring it out? Did he bring something out like that possibly?
I think so. We heard a lot of his tracks that he'd done before with other bands, and we had heard, what they sounded like live before they went and talked to Matt. And I think Matt found a way to really bring out the creative side of each of us, because listening to our first album and listening to this new song off the upcoming album, you can tell that something happened to us as musicians. You can tell that, and that's what I like to hear, when I'm listening to bands on my own is, well, what makes this album different from this one? Does it sound like the same band? Does it sound like the same musicians? Have they gotten better? Have they evolved? And you can clearly and distinctively hear an evolution in who we are as a band and how we've gotten better at what we're doing. But just between this one song and the previous album, and I have to give Matt credit where it's due. I feel like a lot of it's due to him.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that shows you that there's growth musically from this band, including yourself, up to the release of this. And plus, what about for each of you guys? Has this been more just a personal growth for all of you, or just a musical growth in general for the whole band?
I think everyone as a whole has grown and gotten better. I've been playing music for 15 years in the Southeast with several different bands. Prior to me, getting this band together, the guys that are in Ashes to Omens, they hadn't really ever played in bands before. They'd went and played, something here or there at like a singer-songwriter, showcase, or, played a couple of bar and grills, with a bunch of cover songs. And the very first show we played in December of 2017 was the very first show that 3 out of 4 of us had ever played, and the crowd was incredible. The very first show we played was in a dive with 120 cap, and we brought 115 people for that show. And the response to that show was so overwhelming. That's kind of what got us to where we are now. which is a step beyond, where we were. And that's what we're going to continue to do, is continue to push and just be better musicians.
What can fans expect at a show from Ashes to Omens who have not got to see you guys live as of yet, man? What are they going to get?
Well, anybody that comes to our shows, first and foremost, they're gonna see that we appreciate everyone. We're not the type of band that just, hides in the back room and goes on and plays and leaves. We like to interact with our fans. They're the reasons that we continue to play. They're the reasons that we've been able to work on a second album and, run out of, 3 different orders of our first album. And so we're on our, third run now. We're almost sold out of them. They're the reasons. So when we go to a show and we perform, we want fans to have a great time. So we interact with those fans. When they come to a show, they can expect to be a part of the show. And when they leave, they're going to be able to leave and say, wow, those guys, they really had me. They really allowed me to just enjoy myself and have a good time and, be able to go home the next day and remember who we are.
For sure, and especially being on your third run, almost now starting on your fourth run of your first debut CD, that's pretty damn good.
Thanks, man. Thanks. We're super excited. We haven't been able to report, sales the way we need to, and I think this upcoming album, we're going to be on a level where we can actually, make a substantial impact with sales.
So we're in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker. Now we got social media to reach out to more folks. Mm-hmm. Do you like this now, especially like social media side, to reach out to more people who have not got to hear of Ashes to Omens? Do you like this now or no?
I do. I love the digital media. I love, our album and our single is everywhere. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on, Google and, iHeartRadio. Pretty much anywhere you can get digital music, it's there. And not only that allows us to not just reach people in our region. We're being played currently in 18 different countries. We can track it, so we have the ability to say, oh, well, this person, in Brazil listened to our music, or this person in New Zealand, or wherever it might be. I think seeing where you're growing your fan base is great if you can see it on a physical level, but when you can actually track it and you can see we're making a difference in this market here, or not doing so well here, maybe we need to focus on developing something there. I definitely think it helps. It helps not only because the band's a business, at the end of the day.
Sure,
and
yeah.
It helps you to be able to grow your brand and grow your business. And, is it not doing well here? Well, why not? Let's look at this from this level and see what we can do to make it better and make it grow.
So seeing the actual reports and seeing where the music's actually being played in, is there a country that even shocks you that you get support or your music gets played in, speaking of that?
Yeah, it was real weird. Out of the blue, we started getting some play in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That was real out of left field.
But that's cool, though. You're reaching out beyond that market other than just the U.S.,
Right.
What does Ashes to Omens bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything possibly?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we don't sound like every band on the radio. I think there's a specific sound that a lot of people hear when they turn on the radio, and I think we have hints of that, but I also think we have hints of something different. So, and not only that, but each of our songs pull from many different eras of music. A lot of the music that we have on this upcoming album, it's either a song that's super progressive and sounds, a bit like Trivium, or we have a one or two songs that we're writing that harkens to like Tool music. And then we also have some that has a flair of like the Zeppelin and Black Sabbath times. And then there's one song we have that kind of sounds similar to AC/DC. So I feel like a lot of the music that we're writing and that we're playing is not something that you can just turn on the radio and say, oh, well, they sound just like this band or just like this band. That's not the case with us. We have something that is unique in that we don't sound like every single band on the radio, but we sound similar in the sense that, oh, I like this band, so I would like them too.
What made you want to become a musician, James? What was that spark for you that said, that's what I want to do?
I think it's just performing and being able to connect with people. I was always growing up, I was really shy. My parents, and my grandparents used to make me sing when I was in church when I was like 4 and 5 years old, with my aunt and uncle who were also young at the time. I hated it. I hated being in front of people. I hated, singing. And then something happened, a little over 15 years ago, and I got a chance to sing again. My brother asked me if I wanted to do some singing for him and do a little something music-wise, and I was like, well, sure, why not? And I went up there and I was hooked, and I haven't been the same since.
Folks, you want to get out and check out Ashes to Omens. Their new album is out right now. You want to go pick this up. Give this band a chance. They have some great music, to be honest with you. James, how could folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy this new EP album, tour dates, merchandise, things like that. How can they do that, my friend?
Sure. So anywhere it's available on that music is sold, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Apple Music, you can stream us on Spotify, follow us there. You can also get the original album on those same ports. You can also just hit us up on Facebook. You can hit us up on any social media or on our website, ashestomens.com, and we can put you a hard copy in your hands as well.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely, man. I'd love to, man. This is James Branton, vocalist, frontman, and guitarist for Ashes to Omens, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, plus our YouTube link, and soon our Twitch link. And also get out and check out Ashes to Omens. You will not be disappointed. James, thank you so much, and I wish you guys the best of luck, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.